Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Yevamot page 106, which discusses whether or not you could force an individual to do certain mitzvos, to bring a sacrifice, or in our chapter, to do chalitza in order to free up this woman so she could marry whomever she wishes, especially if we're dealing with a man who is really not befitting to marry her. So on this we have the very famous words of the Talmud that says that on one hand, when it comes to bringing a sacrifice, it has to be done with that individual's consent. A person has to actually want to bring it. However, the Talmud also says that a person can be forced to bring it. The question is, how is that possible that we're going to force someone to do something which clearly indicates that they have no actual interest in doing it, and yet it could be an acceptable sacrifice because for some reason they want to do it. But the fact that you force them, that should certainly indicate their lack of interest. And on this we have the famous words, Kofen oso ad shiomer rotza ani, that we can actually force that individual until they say the words, I want. And the question certainly stands, why in fact does that mean anything? So what that you force someone and you twist their arm, so to speak, until they finally say, fine, I'll do it. Clearly they do not want to do it. So why is this considered to be an acceptable sacrifice? And on this, it's explained here as well as in Kedushin, that the idea is that really a person wants to do the right thing. And sometimes, initially, they just decide that they're not in the mood to do it, or for whatever reason, they have this improper approach to life, or in this case, narrowly just discussing wanting to bring a sacrifice. But the reality is, deep down, a person really wants to be good, or deep down a person really wants to do the right thing. And therefore, with a little bit of persuasion and maybe a little bit of coercion, once they say, I want, and they actually go through the motions, it's understood that that's really what they want to do. And this is something which perhaps we could also learn for our own lives, that there are a lot of things that we may not really be interested in doing, but we have people who motivate us and encourage us, or maybe at a gym we have professional trainers that may be a little bit tough with us, and we are not so thrilled with the way we're treated. But we know that this is really what's good. And even though we say, yes, okay, I'm going to do it, the reality is you want to do it. Initially, it may be difficult. Initially, you may not want to, but you really do. It's just that you have all these other distractions, or you have, unfortunately, certain things that are weighing you down and stresses in life. But the reality is we all want to do what's good. We all want to do what's healthy. And sometimes we just need, just like the Jewish court, to force us a little bit until finally we say, Rotze ani, I want.